government has dismissed claims of a critical shortage in HIV, AIDS and TB medication. It's responding to a warning from NGOs which maintain a lack of stock at state-run health facilities is having disastrous effects on patients. The coalition says stock shortages last on average 30 days. Most of the facilities reporting a lack of medication are in the Free State with 54%. At the other end of the scale is the Northwest with only 4% reporting stockouts.
This is an issue that distresses patients, and yet patients do not feel that they have a voice with which to complain upon this issue.
CD4 count, I'm 987.
My CD4 count was 987 earlier this year, but after June and the shortage, I realized it's dropped to 549. I'm angry because I'm taking responsibility for my treatment.
But the health minister says the stats are questionable.
I said I will follow evidence-based scientific method. I'm not just going to listen to anybody. This particular study we are talking about, we told the people that we need to look at it because we didn't agree with the methodology.
NGOs and civil society groups have questioned whether there is enough political will to deal with the challenge of stock shortages. They've warned that at least 400,000 people are at risk if the problem is not effectively dealt with. Pagamile Hlubi, Johannesburg.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.
The deadly September crash sparked a massive outcry and calls for a ban of heavy vehicles along Fields Hill. But while acknowledging the need for action, KwaZulu-Natal's Transport MEC Willis Mqunu says the social and economic implications are too far-reaching for a total truck ban. Short-term plans, he announced, include the existing carrying capacity of trucks passing through will be reduced from 25 tons to 16 tons. 16-ton trucks will be restricted from passing through Fields Hill from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the eastbound carriageway. Trucks will be restricted from using the route in both directions from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The compulsory stop at the top of Fields Hill will be electronically monitored, and law enforcement is set to increase. Some of the long-term plans look at constructing an extra lane in the easterly direction, concrete barriers along the entire route, as well as improving ramps and intersections. But will these proposals make a tangible difference on the ground when so many truck drivers use Fields Hill to avoid paying tolls? Community member and lobbyist Corne Brudrick is skeptical.
I think at the end of the day, the answer is that trucks need to be banned. There is no reason for them to be using Fields Hill. There are other alternatives.
Clearly, it's an issue which will be debated for some time to come. Judith Subin, Durban.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.
Police first claimed officers fired at Kulichana because they'd mistaken him for a kidnapper. Days later, they claimed to have damning CCTV footage of the rapper.
In the CCTV footage, I was made to believe they can clearly say that there was no attempt of him to stop the vehicle when he's flagged down by uniformed police officers. In the contrary, he tried to run the police officers over. That's why they have fired at the vehicle.
Malila admits he's never actually seen the footage, nor have Chana's lawyers. They've sent letters to roads agency Sunrail and surrounding businesses asking them if such a recording even exists. So far, all they have is video footage from the service station, and none of it shows Chana attempting to ride over police officials. The police officers in the footage are clearly not in uniform. Ballistics expert Thomas Volmerantz, who's part of Oscar Pistorius' defense team, has created a series of 3D images of Chana's car. Police fired from about 3.5 meters away. Nearly all 9 shots were fired from the left, entering the passenger side of the car as Chana drove down an off-ramp at slow speed. The lawyers say the images make it clear the rapper was not trying to escape, and that officers used unnecessary force and wanted him dead. Karen Morn, Johannesburg.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.
Resourceful prisoners are proving that being locked up isn't much of a deterrent. Just last month, they were found in possession of more than 1,000 cell phones and bucket loads of sorghum beer brewed inside the prison. Correctional officers have now upped the ante in anticipation of the festive season, and those thinking of spending the holidays outside have been warned.
We know that offenders during this time, they have a tendency of wanting to go out. Sometimes they also want to go out and have Christmas and New Year outside.
Officials say prisoners seldom hatch plans to escape by themselves.
Some of the people will come for festive season to visit them. They don't come for good purposes. They will encourage offenders to escape.
But it seems those entrusted with the task of locking the gates provide the biggest headache.
That would be a big contradiction, that we who are wearing this uniform will aspire to be criminals by colluding with members of the communities, by colluding with offenders inside here.
And the message to the public is clear. Anyone wanting to smuggle contraband will have these well-trained canines to deal with.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.